Will Smith's journey is often told as a rise, a fall, and a public reckoning, but that framing misses the deeper thread running through his life: performance as survival. From the streets of West Philadelphia to global superstardom, he built an identity on charm, humor, and relentless positivity. Yet beneath the surface of that carefully maintained image was a boy shaped by tension, expectation, and emotional complexity. His story is not just about fame or failure, but about what happens when a lifelong persona collides with private pain in front of an audience that once believed it was all effortless. West Philadelphia, where survival learned to smile. Willard Carroll Smith Jr. was born in 1968 in West Philadelphia, a neighborhood defined by resilience as much as struggle. It was not a place of cinematic glamour, but of ordinary people navigating economic pressure, social tension, and quiet ambition. In that environment, reputation mattered as much as reality. Young Will learned early that presence could determine safety. Humor became his first defense, a way to disarm situations before they became threatening. Even as a child, he showed an unusual ability to read rooms, adapt energy, and transform discomfort into laughter that softened the edges of his surroundings. Family dynamics and the weight of expectation. Inside the Smith household, structure and discipline shaped daily life. His mother emphasized education, responsibility, and moral clarity, while his father enforced order with strict expectations and emotional intensity. Though stable on the surface, the home carried moments of conflict that left lasting impressions on a young mind. Will would later describe his father as both a guiding force and a source of unresolved emotional complexity. This duality created a psychological blueprint: admiration intertwined with fear, love mixed with pressure. It was within this environment that he began forming his lifelong pursuit of approval and validation, charisma as armor and early identity. As Will grew, his personality became increasingly magnetic. Teachers and peers noticed his ability to command attention without effort, often turning classroom moments into performances. This was not yet ambition in the professional sense, but instinctive adaptation. Humor became more than a trait, it became protection. By controlling how others felt, he also controlled how vulnerable he needed to be. The boy who could make everyone laugh rarely had to explain what he felt. This emotional strategy worked so effectively that it later became indistinguishable from his true identity in the eyes of the public. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the First Taste of Fame meeting. Jeffrey Towns, known as DJ Jazzy Jeff, marked a turning point. Together they formed a creative partnership that blended technical skill with natural performance instinct. Their music stood out in late 1980s hip-hop for its playful tone and accessibility. Instead of adopting aggression or street posturing, they leaned into storytelling and humor. Their breakthrough came with "Parents Just Don't Understand," earning mainstream recognition and a Grammy Award. Suddenly, Will was no longer just a talented teenager from Philadelphia. He was a national figure, stepping into fame faster than he had the tools to manage it. Success, excess, and the collapse. Behind the curtain. Early fame brought wealth, attention, and disorientation. At a young age, Will began spending as if success were permanent, surrounding himself with the trappings of celebrity life. But financial reality caught up quickly. Mismanagement and tax obligations led to severe debt, stripping away the illusion of stability. The experience was humiliating and destabilizing, forcing him into a moment of reckoning. Fame had elevated him socially, but it had not yet grounded him professionally. This financial collapse became an unexpected turning point, opening a door he might not otherwise have considered. Acting. The Fresh Prince decision that changed everything. When the opportunity came to star in a television sitcom, Will initially hesitated. The concept seemed simple, even limiting, compared to his musical ambitions. But financial pressure and curiosity aligned at the right moment. The result was The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, a show that transformed his life. It was built on a familiar premise, cultural displacement and comedy. But Will's natural charisma elevated it beyond formula. The role did not require him to become someone else. It required him to amplify what he already was. In doing so, he began shaping a global identity, television stardom, and emotional breakthroughs. As the sitcom grew in popularity, Will Smith became one of the most recognizable faces in America. His timing, improvisation, and emotional intelligence made him stand out even in comedic scenes. But beneath the humor, the show occasionally revealed deeper emotional truths. One of the most iconic moments came in a storyline involving his on-screen father, where abandonment triggers an emotional breakdown. The scene exposed a vulnerability that contrasted sharply with his public persona. It resonated widely because it revealed something universal. Even the most confident exterior can conceal unresolved emotional wounds. Expanding into global cinema and perfection of image after television success, Will transitioned into film, where he became a dominant box office force. His roles often centered on resilience, leadership, and emotional strength, reinforcing the image he had carefully built. From action blockbusters to dramatic performances, he consistently portrayed characters who overcame adversity through determination and optimism. Off-screen, his public persona mirrored these roles. He became the embodiment of controlled positivity, a figure who seemed to convert pressure into charisma. Yet maintaining that image required constant performance, leaving little room for visible imperfection. The Oscars moment and public disruption. At the 2022 Academy Awards, that carefully constructed image fractured in front of a global audience. A moment of confrontation on stage became one of the most discussed incidents in modern entertainment history. Beyond the immediate controversy, it revealed the strain between public expectation and private emotional reality. For someone whose identity was built on composure and likability, the event symbolized a rupture between persona and person. It forced a broader conversation about fame, emotional control, and the pressures placed on individuals who are expected to remain composed at all times. Conclusion: the cost of being always on. Will Smith's story is not simply about success or scandal, but about the psychological weight of sustained performance. From childhood humor used as protection to global fame that demanded constant optimism, his life reflects the cost of being perpetually visible and emotionally accessible to the world. The same traits that made him beloved also created pressure to never break character. In the end, his journey reflects a larger truth about celebrity. The more convincing the performance, the harder it becomes to separate it from the person behind it.